if I told you that a simple $1 coin from 1972 could be worth thousands today? What if this single coin carried a story of American pride, presidential legacy, hidden mint eras, and collector obsession? A coin that the government minted to honor a man who changed the course of history, but ended up creating one of the most controversial and misunderstood coins in US history, from Eisenhower's legacy to the rare type to reverse from Philadelphia to Denver. 2. The silent proof struck in San Francisco, the 1970 to $1 coin hides secrets that most Americans have never heard of until now. In the year 1970, America stood in a time of reflection and pride. Only a few years had passed since the death of General and President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and the United States Treasury made a bold move to commemorate this towering figure. By issuing a brand new coin, the Eisenhower Dollar, it was big, it was bold, it was the first dollar coin to circulate in decades, and in 1972 the coin reached a critical turning point. Collectors, dealers, historians, and even average Americans began to notice that this was no ordinary coin. The 1970 to Eisenhower dollar came in multiple varieties, some of which would eventually become legendary in the world of numismatics. The first thing to understand about the 1970 to Eisenhower dollar is its composition. The United States Mint produced the coin in two major formats, one in copper-nickel clad for circulation, and another in a special silver clad version meant for collectors and special mint sets. This alone created division in the collector community. But what truly set the $1,972 apart was a detail so small, so easy to miss, and yet so powerful it could increase the value of a coin 100 times over. This detail was found in the earth behind the eagle on the reverse side of the coin, and it would go on to define the three major types of the 1970 to Eisenhower dollar: Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, each with its own story, each with its own place in coin collecting history. Type 1 had a weak and less detailed globe. The continents looked nearly flattened, and this version was struck in Philadelphia. It was the most common of the three, yet still collectible in high-grade condition. Type 2 was the real mystery. The reverse design was based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia, but the mint used an incorrect earth rendering, possibly a leftover master die from San Francisco. This version had a sharply different earth shape and was used only briefly in early 1972. It was pulled quickly once the error was noticed, making it the rarest of the three, with less than 100,000 believed to be in existence. Type 3 then came in later as the corrected version with a more accurate and detailed globe. It became the standard for the rest of the year. And that is just the beginning of the story. We have mint mark placement, strike quality proof, and uncirculated sets, error coins, die breaks, double dies, off-center strikes, full bell lines, and how all these features can dramatically change the value of your 1972 dollar coin. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction, but most Americans have them sitting in drawers, forgotten and dusty. In the early 1970s, America stood at a crossroads of political, cultural, and historical change. The Vietnam War was still echoing in the background. The space race had put man on the moon, and the legacy of President Dwight D. Eisenhower was still fresh in the minds of millions as the 34th President of the United States. Eisenhower had led the nation through post-World War to recovery, the creation of the interstate highway system, and a firm Cold War strategy. His death in 1969 marked the end of an era, and the United States Mint decided to honor him in a unique way by creating a new $1 coin bearing his image. The Eisenhower dollar was first issued in 1971, but it was the 1972 version that would truly capture the attention of collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts. The 1970 to Eisenhower dollar was minted in three major United States mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each facility used different mint marks and processes, leading to a variety of characteristics differences, and in some cases very rare varieties that would later become highly sought after in the numismatic community. This coin was the first dollar coin issued for circulation since the peace dollar of 1935. It was also the first coin to feature President Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 moon landing on the reverse. The reverse design featured an eagle landing on the moon holding an olive branch, a symbol of peace, based on the mission insignia of Apollo 11, and it became one of the most symbolic and patriotic coin designs of its time. But what makes the 1970 to Eisenhower dollar especially fascinating is the presence of three different reverse types, Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. These reverse types were all struck at the Denver and San Francisco did not share the same characteristics. The three types of reverses vary primarily in the design of the earth behind the eagle on the reverse side of the coin, specifically in the shape and outline of the continents on the globe. Type 1 reverse is the most common among the three. It features a less detailed and almost flat rendering of the continents, especially North and South America. This version was struck early in the year, but continued throughout 1972. Type 2, however, is the rarest and most famous among collectors. This version was created using an incorrect master die, most likely intended for proof coins at the San Francisco Mint. The continents on the globe appear flattened and indistinct, and the lines of the earth are vague and poorly defined. This error was quickly caught and corrected, making Type 2 very rare, with estimates suggesting fewer than 100,000 pieces were minted and released into circulation. Type 3 was introduced later in the year, and it became the standard reverse design for the rest of the production run. It features a more accurate and clearer depiction of the Earth and continents with better detail than the Type 1 reverse, but without the error of Type 2. As a result, most 1970 to Eisenhower dollars in circulation today are Type 1 or Type 3, with Type 2 being the elusive treasure every collector dreams of finding. But reverse types were not the only interesting aspects of the 1970 to Eisenhower dollar. Collectors also look at the coin's mint mark, which indicates the mint where it was produced. Coins without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia. Those with a small d were minted in Denver, and those with an S were minted in San Francisco. The coins from San Francisco were often struck in higher quality and included both proof and uncirculated silver clad versions designed specifically for collectors. The standard coins minted for circulation in Philadelphia and Denver were composed of copper nickel clad, while the special collector editions from San Francisco contained a silver clad composition of 40% silver and 60% copper. These silver clad coins were not intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors. Through the US Mint, they came in both proof and uncirculated conditions, packaged in special holders or blue and brown boxes, depending on the finish. The San Francisco proofs were struck using specially prepared dies and polished plankets, resulting in mirror-like finishes that remain popular among collectors to this day. The combination of superior strike quality, limited mintage, and silver content makes these coins highly desirable. But even among these proofs, some coins exhibit minor errors or varieties, such as die-doubling cameo contrast or deep cameo finish, which can significantly increase their value. Among circulated coins, collectors search for strike quality, luster, and preservation. Coins graded mint state 65 and higher can fetch significant premiums, especially for Type 2 varieties, due to their rarity and difficulty to find in high grade. In fact, a certified Miss 65 or higher 1970 to Type 2 Eisenhower dollar can sell for thousands of dollars at auction, especially if it has strong eye appeal and few contact marks. But errors and varieties add even more intrigue to the 1970 to Eisenhower dollar series. Collectors have identified many examples of double die obverse and reverse coins, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuts, and planchette eras in the series. Some of these are dramatic and visually striking, like a coin missing its clad layer or struck off center by more than 50%. These era coins can command substantial premiums, especially when authenticated and graded by third-party grading services. In terms of mintage numbers, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 75 million Eisenhower dollars in 1972, making it the largest contributor to that year's output. The Denver Mint produced over 92 million coins, while the San Francisco Mint produced approximately 2.6 million silver uncirculated coins and about 1.8 million silver-proof coins, despite the high overall mintage. The presence of different varieties, eras, and strike qualities means that not all 1970 to Eisenhower dollars are created equal, and collectors continued to search through rolls and bags looking for high-grade examples or elusive type to reverses. Many collectors also build complete Eisenhower dollar sets, which include not only each year and mint mark, but also each type of reverse silver and clad compositions, proofs, and special issues. This makes the 1970 to Eisenhower dollar a cornerstone of such collections, and its varieties, especially Type 2, are often the key coins needed to complete a high-value set. Auction records have shown strong demand for high-grade or rare variety, 1,970 to dollars. One example of a Type 2 reverse-graded Miss 66 by PCGS sold for over $9,000. Another in deep cameo proof sold for several $100s, demonstrating the strong market interest in quality specimens. The coin market continues to show strength for Eisenhower dollars, particularly for certified and well-preserved pieces. In the broader context, the Eisenhower dollar also holds historical value as the last large-sized dollar coin issued by the United States. It was replaced in 1979 by the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which was smaller in size and intended to be more practical for everyday transactions. The Eisenhower dollar, however, was never widely accepted in commerce due to its large and heavy design. Many coins were stored away in treasury vaults and later sold to collectors or released into circulation during coin shortages.